Good morning. Let me get my iPad set up. All right, there we go. All right, I know it takes a few minutes, so. I'm just gonna kind of wait and see. Hi, Linda. How are you? We had rain this morning, heavy rain. It's supposed to rain all weekend. So great weekend for crafting. I'm gonna get a lot done in the next 2 days. But hopefully the rest of you will have some time to play also. I placed a big order. Good thing it doesn't come until Monday because I have things I have to get done and I can't look at the big order. So, and then as it would have it, I forgot things. I was like, darn it. I hate it when I forget things. I've got like a list of 5 things. Hey, Kim, I didn't think you were coming in. I thought you had a party this morning. So, but yeah, I have some more things I got to order. Hi, Tina. So I will be placing another order. Oh, well. Hey, Barb. Everybody's coming in quickly this morning. So that's fine. I mean, you know, the more the merrier. Invite your friends. Start a watch party. Everybody loves to see crafting videos. Oh my gosh. That's a long time to be sitting in Butler. Did it come, didn't come UPS, right, Linda? It came by Mail Innovations. I ordered something by Mail Innovations and I hate that. I hate it. On the East Coast, it's a problem. I don't know why, but Mail Innovations uses the post office. And so when I get an order like that, it's like, I mean, I even tried tracking it. My order said it had never left Utah after a week. And I called Stampin' Up! About it, and they checked into it. Yeah, that's the Mail Innovations, Linda. I don't like that. I think we need to start complaining about it. I know it's cheaper for them, but they need to do something because that's ridiculous. It'd be faster for you to go pick it up. So when I called and I said, this is product for a class. She says, well, when does the class begin? I said, this weekend. And she said, okay, we're going to overnight it to you. And that's what I did. They overnighted it to me. And then when it finally got here, I just had to ship it back. I didn't open it or anything. I shipped it back and said, refuse, duplicate. So they got it back. But it was like, it drove me crazy. And it was through Mail Innovations. So I hope you get it soon. I don't know. I don't think we have any recourse at this point with it sitting in a post office, you know, but maybe it'll come, maybe it's not there, maybe it'll come today because sometimes they don't always update it quickly. So maybe it'll be there today. I'm going to cross my fingers for you. Anyway, I really had a hard time coming up with a stamp set to use for today's card. I don't want to keep using the same stamp set over and over. And so it was like I started looking through my sets and I found one that I hadn't used for this. Oh no. Yeah, Kim, I don't like it either. I wish Stampin' Up! Would not use them. I know it's cheaper, but I think it's UPS that does it, not Stampin' Up! So I don't know if there's anything we can do about it. But we hadn't used Seaside Notions. So I pulled that out for today's card because I was thinking, a masculine card, that would be perfect. So that's what I did. I did one card, 3 styles, and they're masculine. Well, I say they're masculine because of the stamps that I use, but they could be used for kids too. Kids would love it. Even a lady who likes the water would like it. So, all right, let's see. Oh yeah. I don't know if there is a solution to the male innovations. It's hard to say. All right, I'm going to take one more drink. I hope you all have your beverage of choice, and let's get started. All right, I'm going to cover you up and flip you around and turn my light on. All right, so, and hopefully I will get this straight. Sometimes I think it's straight, and when I look, it's not. Hi, Carol, how are you? All right, so you get a sneak peek of the card we're going to do today. I got to go this way. So I'm going to do it in small increments so I can see if it's straight. All right. Ooh, so close. This way, just slightly, I think. I can never figure out which way to twist it to get it straight, but I think I got it. No, I went the wrong way. Poo, poo, poo. That might not be it either. I'm holding my hand so I know which way I went. And I think I went the wrong way. Ooh, no. No, almost. A little bit more. I don't know about you, but sometimes those lines, if they're crooked, drive me crazy. But I found that the black background is the best. And I like having the lines because I can easily measure if I forget. All right, there's our first card. And as you can see, we use the seahorse, the sand, the sand dollar, and the coral. And I kept this one clean and simple. So let me pull in. This is just a piece of Whisper White that's 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to take and use my bone folder. Hey, Betty Ann, you made it in. Did you get your test? And I'm going to pull in a piece of scrap paper because I know I'm going to be stamping off with the sand. And that's what I started with first. I used Sahara sand, and what I did was I put my 2 humps at the top. I don't know which way it goes, but I found it easy to do this because the way it works out, and then I kind of angled it, I have this space at the bottom, and then without turning my changing the orientation on my stamp set, I can fill in my sand. So I have my sand filled in. All right, I'm going to close this. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel for you with your test. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my coral. And I use Calypso Coral for it. And I'm just going to stamp it over here to the side like so. All right. My sand dollar I did in crumb cake, and I just kind of tried to make it look like it was sitting on the bottom, and I kind of put it down here a little bit into that well. Excuse me. And then the only thing left is my seahorse. Now, I use Blushing Bride. And when I was making this, you know me, I got to figure out, I Googled, what color are seahorses? Well, they are not the brown or Sahara sand. They're not a brown anyway, which is the ones I have seen. It says they're usually yellow, pink, and there was another color, maybe an orange, and that they do that to blend in with their background. So I chose to use pink. It's not blending in with my background, but that's okay. And I stamped him over to the side like so, and I'm off a little bit. The only thing left now is my sentiment. And I tried to decide about colors, and I thought, well, I'm going to use, you Google, bright blue, that was the other? Okay, I knew that there were several others, Tina, so thanks. I'm going to take and I got to see how, I can never remember, whenever I do this, I always stamp, is the bottom straight or the top? Okay, I got an idea. I always stamp it on scrap paper so I know. See how the stamp is kind of flat there, but it's not quite as flat at the top? I always like to see which way to go. And I chose to use the Calypso Coral just because I just thought it added a different color. Ooh, a bright blue one. I should have tried the bright blue. So there's the Clean and Simple card. All right. But now, maybe you want to step it up a little bit. So this is what I did. And I got to get my water and my brush. I forgot that. Okay, got it. All right, I totally forgot I had colored that on here. So for that one, you're still going to use the 8.5 by 11 scored at 4 1/4. You also need soft suede that is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to put my card aside. And then on top of that, I layered a white one, and that's 3 3/4 by 5. So what we're going to take and do with this, pull in my paper again, we're going to stamp our sand and everything just like we did before. Oh, thanks, guys. All right. All right, so I'm going to stamp some sand down at the bottom. And I kind of angled that one to give it a... And I love this stamp set because you can go in and add, and I should have angled that, so I'm just going to tap it in real quick. All right, so there's our sand for the bottom. All right, we're going to stamp our coral. Same as before. And I kind of go down a little bit so that this piece is down in the bottom. Now you got to watch your side edge over here that you don't go off. And then I wanted some color on it. So what I took, or what I did, I don't know why I say that. I did something with the final one that's colored more, Betty Ann, and you'll see why I didn't do Pool Party. What I did was I took my water brush, aqua paint or whatever you had, and it's wet, and I really pulled it out and kind of diluted the color, and then went in, and I just kind of quickly added some color to my coral. And when I got my brush dried out, I took and added some more. So this one I've stepped up by adding a layer and some more color. You can do this same idea with the Clean and Simple one if you wanted some color. Okay, I'm going to move this off of here so I don't tip it over, the water over, because I'm known for that. I had a project that I had all done. I was so excited about it, and I had used water to color. I hit the thing, and water went everywhere. Oh, I was so mad. Those things happen. Now I'm going to add my sand dollar back in. And I'm going to add it over here. I'm going to add it as an angle, like that. And then to make this one a little bit different, I decided to add some twine. Now I got to be careful to wave it a little bit and make sure that that is dried. I don't want to smear it, so I won't move it around too much. So I'll add it to my soft suede. And then I didn't want to add a bow in case you wanted to use it as a masculine card. And I didn't want to, but I wanted something to give it some interest. So that's why I decided to use my linen thread. And I'm going to take, and this is the way I always add my ribbon. I decide where I'm going to put my ribbon, and I put 2 pieces of tear and tape on each side. Then I take my backs off. You'll love this one. I have 2 pokey tools, one here and one at the other table where I usually work at. And I took and I picked it up the other day. It was covered with glue from playing with that seal. And just so you know, my seal was defective. They're sending me another one. All right, so anyway, what I take and do is I stick my ribbon or whatever you're using, because I use the same method with ribbon, and I stick it down and I wrap it around and stick it down there, and I come back up to the top, and this is how I did this one, and this way, and then I stick it down and I cut it off. And then I want to make certain that that ribbon or linen thread in this case stays in place. So I put another piece of tear and tape on top, and then I take the backs off, because if you don't, this won't stick on your card and it'll lift up and you'll have a mess. Ask me how I know that one. I've done it so many times, and I have to go in with my pokey tool and finagle it off because it's stuck down. And we're going to add this to our card base. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to move it around too much because I didn't use a lot of water, so it should be dry, but you never know. All right, so I've got my card base ready. I'm going to add some glue on the other pieces. And I do this because tear and tape's expensive. The glue is not as much. So I use the tear and tape when I need to and use my glue for the rest. All right, so there, I've got it. All right, and then what I did was I stamped the seahorse in the Blushing Bride. I did the same procedure to color it like I did for this, and there's some blue in there because I don't know how, but I had blue in the lid of my Blushing Bride ink pad. I don't know. And when it was dry, I went over it with Wink of Stella so that it's sparkly and shiny. And I'm going to add that to my card base, and I'm going to use dimensionals. And because this one has the tiny, tiny tail on it, what I did was I pulled out my mini dimensionals, and I don't use them very often, but I had to use it for here. So I took one full-size one, and I put it right about there. Then I took another one, and you're going to think I'm crazy, but I cut it in half. Gremlins did it. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. All right, so I cut it in half because these are tiny spaces down in here. All right, so I took one of them and I added it right down there where the tail is, and I took the other one, And you need your pokey tool for this because these are so tiny. And I added it to the side. I really need like micro dots of dimensionals to get it for my cards, because I do silly things like that. I also fussy cut all of these seahorses. That's interesting. I wished I had had my Cameo set up. I could have scanned it in, and I've got to start using that because I could have stamped 3 or 4 of them, scanned them in, cut them all out, or run it through and the machine would cut it out. I wouldn't have to fussy cut it. So I added my dimensionals on the back, and then I just added my little seahorse to the side. And then the only thing we need is our sentiment. All right. And I'm gonna add it to the top like so. And there's the stepped up version. But I thought, how can we make this a wow card? And this is what I came up with. It's underneath everything piled up over here. And I'm going to show you because I don't like the placement of that. I'm going to change the placement today. So what I did was let me get all my measurements out here. I took my smallest piece of white, which is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And I used, I want to make sure I get the right one. I don't want to pick up the wrong one. There it is. I used Seaside Spray and, oh, I got it in there crooked. It's not gonna, ooh, this one's really tight. Haven't used it in a while. Thanks, Tina. I used my makeup brush and I just came in and I sponged the background. And I'll be honest with you, I just kind of did it randomly. I didn't worry about making it even, so that you kind of got the highs and the low in the water, like when the sun shines through. I'm going to try to make that one a little bit less noticeable. I left my brush sitting there. And I just added my color till I was happy. If you don't have Seaside Spray, you could do it with Balmy Blue, but I think Seaside Spray, I like it for water. I guess because of the color it is. But if you're down in the Caribbean, your water could be bluer. It's actually almost turquoise down there. All right, let me turn it one more time. And I'll hide that piece. And then this time, I decided that I wanted all of the pieces. Okay, that's good. I got the highs and the lows of the water. I wanted all of the pieces popped up to really say, wow. But you can't pop your sand. Well, you could, but it wouldn't look right. So I just went ahead and I stamped my sand. Same method as I did before. All right. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna angle it this time so it's, there we go. All right, and I've got it angled. Now we're gonna take and we're gonna put all our layers together. I put this on a piece of Whisper White that's 1/8 of an inch bigger, so it's 3 3/4 by 5. The advantage of the glue is you also get to wiggle it around a little bit. So there's just a little bit of the white showing, just to give it some contrast against the soft suede. All right, now I'm going to add that to my soft suede piece, and that is that's your normal 4 by 5 1/4 panel. I'm running out. All right. So I'm going to add that on there, like so. And I think the white just really makes it pop. All right, now I've got to add my ribbon. Not my ribbon, my linen thread. So I'm going to do the same procedure. I'm going to cut my tear and tape. I'm going to put it over here. And I don't think I have enough ribbon left on my spool, but I had pulled over another package. It's just going to have kinks in it, so I got to get the kinks out. I have the old packages. I had a bunch of those, so now it apparently comes on a spool, so you don't have to deal with this. But I made my own spool so that I had it. All right, and I'm going to take and get rid of these kinks. And what I'm going to take and do is I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to pull like you're curling ribbon. Thanks, Barb. All right, and that gets rid of your kinks. All right, now I can add it to my card base. All right, go over here. I'm just going to wrap it around, trying to make it as even as I possibly can. And I left a little bit of space in between also for a little bit more interest. Got everything in there, all stuck down. I'm going to take another piece of tear and tape. That's another thing I have to order is tear and tape. I said that 2 weeks ago and I didn't order it, and it's like, oh, I'm getting low. All right, let me get my first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to get my card base ready to go. And it's the same Whisper White. And then what I did with all the images was I stamped them and I colored them with the same way I colored the coral and the seahorse. And then I fussy cut them all out. This is one set I really wished we had dies for. All right, so there's my card so far. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. So I have it. And on this one, because I like my bling, I added Wink of Stella to all the pieces. So first thing I'm going to put on is this one, and I have to use my mini dimensionals again. I have had these forever and hardly ever use them because usually I can get it the size I want by just cutting it in half. But sometimes you have little tiny pieces and you need to cut them in half. Let me see, I think that one will go in there. And I think I'm going to take one and cut it in half because I want to make sure I get remember, use yucky scissors for cutting these things and tear and tape and everything else, because if not, your scissors will get all gummed up and then you have to take time to clean them. And if you're like me, you forget to clean it, and then when you get started with crafting and go to use it, it's a mess and you got to stop and clean it. Oops, I forgot up there. I need another one. And I have even cut the halves in half on this because of the little tiny piece that's needed up at the top. All right. So I'm going to put that back over there on the thing. And I'm going to cut this one in half. All right. So I'm going to take it in my fingers. And I got a little tiny piece. You'd be surprised what you could use that little tiny piece for. I've had times when I've said, I need a really tiny piece, and guess what? I had one. All right, and then I can get that one there. All right, let's take our backs off of this. I know you're all saying, that is too much work. But I do some fun things with my cards. I sometimes look at a card when I'm all done and go, what were you thinking? But I love the way it turned out. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that one. And I got this little tiny one, and I'm going to tell you, for this one, just take your pokey tool and pick it up. Don't try to poke it because you'll rip it off your card. Now when you put this one down, watch your edging. I'm going to go over a little, but I'm not going past the edge of the card, like so. The next one I put on was this one, but this one I didn't like the way I did it, so I'm going to change it. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to lay it down. So I'm going to change the orientation. So you can see that by just changing the orientation of your pieces can change the look of your card. I should have played with these before I put them down, but I didn't. So I'm going to take this one, and this one I stamped it with soft suede, but I colored it in with Blushing Bride. So I'm going to stamp and lay that one down like so. This one goes on next, and then we have our seahorse. And all the dimensions for my pieces will be posted. I have them scheduled to post again today. I need to start remembering to do that because it makes it so much easier. And then this one I colored in with Crumb Cake, but it's got some pink to it, so it must have been some pink left on the brush. So I'm going to overlap like so. And now I'm going to take and add dimensionals to my seahorse, and I'm going to need some of those tiny pieces. But I'm going to use some of the big ones. Add those to the back like so. Then I'm going to go over to my minis. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take this half of one. I'm going to put it right about there. And then I need another half of one, so let me get it off. And cut it in half. You can also do the same thing with the edges of the regular ones. I've done that. Or I've taken an edge and cut the tiny, tiny piece off. Okay. Let me get these backs off. And we can add it to our card. Come on. Every once in a while I get one that doesn't want to cooperate and come off easy. All right, now let me pull the backs off of these. And again, use your pokey tool to kind of lift it, the back, and then pull it off. I tried using the pokey tool and I ripped it up big time. So, all right. Now we're going to add our seahorse down here, like so. And there's our stepped up wow. But as you can see, I mean, just changing the orientation of those shells kind of changed the whole looks. I really liked this one better than that one. It looked funny, and I think it's because this shell would have been laying down if it was undersea. But, oh well. One of those things. I may try and heat it and get it off afterwards. All right, so we started with a clean and simple. Then we stepped it up, and we stepped it up to a wow card. And I added, you could very easily, like I said, color this in, color this in, color this in. It's going to take a little bit of finesse because you have to be very careful and take your time not to go out of the lines a little bit. And then add some Winged Stella if you want it. Thanks, guys. I really like this one the best. I think it's because of the blue. Yeah, the wow is my favorite also. So, but there are, let me see, what else is in here? There's some smaller shells if you didn't want to use that big one. There's a snail shell. And you could always use a thinking of you, on there. Yeah, I think the blue background really makes it pop. So, there's this week. Now I have to come up with some ideas for next week. And I will not be here next week. Oh, hi, Eileen. I will not be here next week. Oh, thanks, Tina. Yeah, I like to do some different things for my masculine cards so that a bow just, some guys don't care about bows, but sometimes I just want something different. I will be doing a video and I will have it scheduled to go live. So there will be a video next week, but I won't be here because I will be in Maryland at my sister's house going through stuff, trying to get it straight so we can get it on the market. So, all right, so there's the 3 cards from today. Let me get ready and turn you guys around. All right. And do you guys have some fun plans for today? I will be in my studio. I have a lot to get done. I have all kinds of cards and videos to make so that I am all set for next week when I'm gone. So I hope you guys have some fun plans. If it's going to rain, nothing better to do than to go into your studio and play. So, all right, guys, let's see. What time is it? Oh, it's after 11. I know we all got things to do, so I'm going to sign off so you guys can all go and have some fun. Remember, stay safe. I want to see you in 2 weeks. Wash your hands, keep your distance, wear your mask, and take some time to stamp today and get inky. I will see you Monday night or Monday at lunchtime in the group for Lunchtime with Robbie. We'll do that. I will be here for that. So I will see you guys later. Bye.